I saw Virat in back-to-back 5 commercials. I won't take the brand name. 3 of those films had him in this random house setup. For me, all those 3 films were the same. One of those films truly used him as a really interesting actor, had a great narrative, had a great story, and the product was also good. One of the biggest learnings in IPL is if you're using a celebrity, don't just use them for their star power. Please focus on narrative, please focus on story, please focus on actually making that film fun. Because remember, somebody will outspend you. Somebody will get a better celebrity. Somebody might even get the same celebrity.
Your company produces IPL ads.
In just one day of production, companies have spent 7, 8, 9 crores.
Why does it cost that much?
Because of many reasons. IPL, it's an important sporting event, which means that if you as a brand are doing something for IPL, you have to get it right. Everything is on the line. Brand's reputation is on the line. Brand's marketing team's job is on the line. So they have to get it right.
A lot comes even in celebrity management, right?
Celebrity, for example, comes and they're like, oh, I live in Bandra. Find a location near Bandra. I'm not going to travel 1 hour to do this. They also have director preferences. I am only comfortable with the director of this stature.
SRK signs up for any ad film or anything. He prefers his own company, Red Chilies.
Yeah, you don't have any choice but to work with them.
What can go wrong will go wrong. Tell me examples of things which have gone wrong.
First IPL film, celebrity shoot, got a fracture a day before. Can't shoot most of the scenes. We literally found so many things.
Yeah.
At about 12 a.m. we get a call that shoot can't happen. It's going to rain really badly. The rain will not stop. I have an outdoor shoot. I can't push the shoot. I have paid the crew. 50% has gone. It's a lot of money to put at stake.
Your company produces IPL ads. Ads which are over 1 crore in budgets. What does an IPL ad look like and why does it cost that much?
It's not just IPL ads, but ads in general have always been expensive. And even we produce much cheaper ads as well. And then there are production houses which produce even more expensive ads. So I think this 1 crore number is, of course, true for maybe one project. But an ad can also be you can produce an ad in like a 20,000-30,000 also. I've seen and I've been on sets where in just one day of production, people and companies have spent 7, 8, 9 crores as well.
Wow.
So ads can be really expensive to make. I don't know, since you come from Dubai, the Yas Island ads that have been featuring Abhay Deol, Hrithik Roshan, where they've recreated ZRMD, those are really expensive films.
They even signed on Ryan Reynolds as one of their brand ambassadors.
Yeah. So you can see where the crores are going. Ads are expensive because of many reasons. But when you break it down, it makes a lot more sense. And the reason IPL ads get the headline of being so expensive is because it's an important sporting event. It's one of the largest in the world, not just the country,
Absolutely.
right? Which means that if you as a brand are doing something for IPL, you have to get it right. You can't get it wrong. And IPL is streamed from a mobile phone to a laptop screen to an iPad screen to you go to a sporting bar and there's huge
Screens,
projector,
yeah.
which means I can't go out and shoot it on even a camera this small. I have to, make sure everything looks crisp. Quality starts to matter a lot. Every single expression of that actor is visible, which means you have to get the right people. So if you look at the entire process, so now imagine you are a brand. And this is your once in a year opportunity. You are the marketing team who has to get it right. Because if you don't get it right, everything is on the line. The brand's reputation is on the line. The brand's growth is on the line. The brand's marketing team's job is on the line. So they have to get it right. Which means they spend a lot of time in scripting. And in our industry, it's a very time-based industry, right? So if let's say a creative writer is spending a lot of time on something, more money has to be involved. If the stakes are higher, which means you have to get a senior writer, which means again the prices go up. So just the pre-production cost, which is the strategy and the planning and the concept and the script writing, that goes through many iterations. Like even when we've turned around an IPL film, I think 3 years ago in about 8 or 9 days, which is not what we recommend to any client, just to be like super clear. But in an odd chance, we have done it. But still the script went through multiple iterations. We didn't have any sleep for those, 8, 9 days. So that makes it expensive. So pre-production is much more expensive than any other project. And this is, by the way, not true for IPL, but true for, let's say, Super Bowl in the US.
Absolutely.
Or if you're a brand who knows that, yaar, mere liye na Raksha Bandhan is sab kuch hai. Like मैं Cadbury हूँ, if I don't get Raksha Bandhan right in India, Like I'm a goner. Or if I don't get Diwali right. So it's not just IPL, but any time for a brand something is happening once, they have to spend a lot more time. Imagine and compare it to creating a reel. I'm okay making a mistake because I can make another reel tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So pre-production becomes expensive. Now comes the production. If you look at IPL as a, you see like the biggest of the celebrities. I don't know if you've seen the Dream 11 ad. There is Amir Khan coming in. Like celebrities are just walking by, like just casually. Like there are crores of just money just in that single frame, which is not even production money, but just like money that they would have paid to these stars and actors because these guys charge a lot. When you're getting that production right, it's not just the set, and sets are expensive. A crew is expensive. A really, really expensive, like a really, really credible crew is expensive. There are DOPs and people who shoot who can charge as high as 2 lakh rupees a day. And when I say a day, a production में एक दिन का मतलब एक shift होता है, which is 8 hours. So the moment you go more than 8 hours, you're paying more, right? Directors, I've seen directors charge anywhere between 50,000, 60,000 a day to also 10 lakhs a day. So there's a huge gamut of money that you're paying these directors, and you want to get again credible crew because a lot of these IPL ads also have celebrities. If you're paying a celebrity 2 crore rupees to show up on the day, they also have director preferences. Ki I am only comfortable with the director of this stature. I am only comfortable with a director or a stylist of this stature. And you go to that director and stylist and they're like, हाँ हम तो इतना ही charge करते हैं. So and what do you tell them? You also have to make sure that celebrity also is open and gives you the right expression, gives you the right, that's why you will see a lot of these larger films are directed by these Bollywood directors. And not to take any names, but the director of Gehraiyan, he has been directing like so many of these ad films because the celebrities also trust him. They have a rapport with him. They know कि यार अच्छा ठीक है 8 घंटे में इतना सारा assets बनाना है. So they will be able to do it, right? So
Adding to what you just said right now, I think if SRK signs up for any ad film or anything, he prefers his own company, Red Chilies.
Yeah.
The people is there from Red Chilies.
Correct.
Now, is it for the better quality, or is it because
Yeah.
paisa unko hi jana chahiye? I don't know.
Correct.
what is
I think it's everything. Everyone's running a business. So if Shah Rukh Khan has the leverage of saying कि इसी से होगा, and if that company also makes some money, what's wrong in that?
Absolutely.
If we had that leverage, we would also do the same. He's just using his leverage, but at the same time, it's not just money. It's also comfort level. If you look at a general IPL set, you're never making one film. You're making multiple assets. Because today you have to, just like we discussed, right? The film is going to be aired on a TV, on a mobile phone. Mobile phone may be different aspect ratios. On
Correct.
Instagram, 9:16, square, then 16:9. You're making bazillion ratios. And India is a diverse country.
Correct.
We created 638 renders of one project. 638. 12 different languages, multiple different aspect ratios. We have this beautiful Excel sheet. It's crazy, which means every person on the set has to finish things on time in the most efficient way possible without making any mistake. So you're not paying for what you see on the screen. You're actually paying so that nobody makes a mistake. Today, things can go wrong here.
Absolutely.
I don't see a backup camera here, and there's no need to be. But I can't do that for an IPL film. I need to have backups of backups of backups.
So backup cameras.
I need to have everything. And I need to have a crew who knows how to deal with difficult situations. A set is a complicated place.
Absolutely.
We just shot a film last week. We had 125 people on that set. It's full on crowd management.
Absolutely.
हमारे खाने का बिल इतना ज्यादा था जितने में 3 shoots निकल जाते हैं. Small things really matter. That's where production expense go up, right? And there are smaller things. I'll give you an example. Like a celebrity, for example, comes and they're like, oh, I live in Bandra. Find a location near Bandra. You're stuck. Bandra mein location ही नहीं है. Just an example. You live in Andheri. Please find a location. I'm not going to travel 1 hour to Mud Island to do this.
So a lot comes even in celebrity management.
Correct.
Right? That's
So,
a whole other thing.
Whole other thing. Even the celebrity entourage, the people who come with, celebrity, their stylers, their, HMU, they're always more expensive than even a really good hair and makeup artist. And you don't have any choice but to work with them. Of course, you can negotiate, you can fight with them, but to what point? Even if you don't have a celebrity, you do want a good actor. Like just like I said, right, the person is going to be on air in a big screen.
Has to act well.
He has to act well. And the slots for IPL, they're really expensive. They go in multiple crores. Like brands, let's say, by the way, if a brand is spending 1 crore on the film, the production, they're minimum at least spending 10 crores on distribution. So the entire campaign for a brand is much, much bigger.
Including the actor's fees, at least like 10 to 15 crores is what we are talking about here.
It's a lot of money to put at stake. So when you know that so much money is at stake, That's why people spend in production. That's why they're like, you know what, it's okay, मुझे 10 crore promotion में लगाना है, I have to spend 10 crores in, you know, promoting this film. Might as well spend extra 50 lakhs here to not get things wrong.
And it's very important, right? Like, because there's this thing in film, and like, we have produced more than 400 podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a saying that what can go wrong will go wrong. And there has always been shoots, like issues which we thought would never happens. For example, one place the service lift is not working. Imagine you have so much equipment to bring up, the service lift doesn't work. One place the security guard is giving you some issues, so you need like a really talented bunch of people to deal with such issues, because I'm sure in any set,
Correct.
you would have seen this. Tell me some more examples of things which have gone wrong, and how has your team dealt with it? How has your professional team dealt with it?
N number of things go wrong.
Go for it. Give us the top three.
First IPL film, at about 12 a.m. we get a call that shoot can't happen. It's going to rain really badly. The rain will not stop.
Rain.
What do? I have an outdoor shoot. I can't push the shoot. We have post producers, we have production managers, we have executive producers. Our writing is in-house. So a lot of the things are in-house, but I can't have all the directors in-house. I can't have the DOP in-house, like the best one that I want for that particular type of film.
Correct.
Because every film is different. So you need to get a crew which is suited for that one film. If I'm creating an emotional masterpiece, I can't have the same person who directed my action film, right? So that's why you have to choose the crew accordingly. I've paid the crew. 50% has gone. Brand will not pay me anything. Now, in the contract, there's a clause which is God's act, but it's very hard to take money from Indian clients. We are blessed with really good clients, and we have seen them to be really nice with us, but I've heard horror stories. Now it's raining, what do?
You have to do an indoor
You have to do
shoot,
something,
or
right?
you have to postpone it
So
to
this is
another
where a
day.
good team comes in. Like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. also, we are now brainstorming solutions. They don't back down. By the way, in India, there's so many good production teams. It's not just Owl, but other production teams are so good. And we have, by the way, further partners, because we have a line production partner who's, different companies that we also collaborate with. Some of the partners that we found are so good कि 2 बजे करना है तो करना है. Like there is no कि हाँ ठीक है mentality. No. If it has to happen, it will happen. Especially in Bombay. In Bangalore, by the way, and in Delhi, I've seen production teams being late. People are coming around, say, 9 ka 9:30 ho gaya kya? No. Bombay, if it's 9, it's 8:55 a.m. People will be there. So at 2 a.m., people are brainstorming. You're like, we have to figure out a solution. We're like, if it's raining, what's the problem with rain? The problem with rain is not that I can't shoot. I can waterproof things. I can have shields. For God's sake, I can have an umbrella and I can find these plastic sheets. That's not the issue. The issue is narrative, which is in the rain, will my story look as good and as funny as I was hoping it to be? It was a humorous film. Second is rain is unpredictable.
It can stop, it can start.
It can stop, it can start, it can be lighter, it can be heavier. So all these things we are thinking on the spot. This is first principle thinking, that we are thinking from the very first principle that what are the things that can happen. So the solution is not to stop the rain. The solution is to convince the client, okay, why don't we tweak the narrative so that it looks equally funnier in the rain? Second solution is make the rain consistent.
So you add extra rain on.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what is the solution? At 2:33 a.m. we are figuring now how to get a rain truck.
Okay.
The best part is we were able to arrange a rain truck.
Wow.
Actually not me, but the team was able to arrange a rain truck, and I was amused by the number of connects, resources, the ability to think fast, and the ability to take a decision that, what, let's not make money on this project.
No, but at least deliver the project, because the commitment has come.
Because when you think long term, which I don't think most people in the agency ecosystem do, they just want to make a couple of crores quickly because they saw some guy on the internet saying that agency se paisa banta hai. They don't take long term decisions. But that time when you have this problem to take long term decision, stuff like this, celebrity shoot, I got a fracture a day before, can't shoot most of the scenes. So overnight we are rewriting the scenes in such a way that we can cheat that in such a way that they don't have to walk, they don't have to do the actions, there can be a body double. We literally found somebody similar looking who we can take a back shot from. So many things.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible to see an incredible production team at work because they think first principles and they think fast.
This is where the money goes.
This is where the
money goes, right? You delivered a campaign in 8-9 days, right? But what's an ideal time to deliver an IPL campaign in the assets that you mentioned?
We barely get that time. But I think you should.
Brands always come last moment, no? They don't come before.
They don't.
4 months back, 5 months back. They're always like 1 month before. Ki humko ye karna hai.
Some of them do, by the way.
Yeah.
Now coming to the timeline required to crack an IPL campaign, minimum 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay,
right?
anywhere from 1 month to 2
Anywhere
months.
between 1 month to 2 months.
Okay.
Have we done it faster? Much faster. Do I recommend faster? No. You should give 4 to 8 weeks. 1 से 2 हफ्ते तो स्क्रिप्ट को फाइन ट्यून करने में लगते हैं. Then pre-production, then post-production, then you would want to sit.
What are we talking about ROI for the brand in this? What ROI have you observed for your clients who have produced these IPL films? What difference has it made for them through these films?
There are horror stories, and then there are some beautiful wonderland stories when you talk about ROI.
Start with the horror first.
I won't take the name, but there's a very infamous story within the startup ecosystem that like a startup went bankrupt because of overspending in IPL. It's a bit of hearsay. I think it's fairly credible.
I may have worked in that startup.
IPL is just one of your events. It's one of your marketing activities. Don't make it your marketing budget. All the smart brand managers I meet, right, they do replace IPL with any important event for you. That could be Valentine's Day, that could be Christmas, that could be Diwali, that could be summers in general, because you might be an AC brand or an inverter brand. We just worked with an inverter brand, and summers are the most important. So I understand that you're parking a bulk of your budget here, but that doesn't mean it's all your branding and marketing. I feel the people who fail fundamentally are the ones who put all of their eggs in one basket thinking this is some magic potion and formula. उनको लगता है कि मैं बस IPL में लोगो डाल दूंगा and done. It doesn't
So
happen.
you don't recommend that?
Correct. Why it doesn't happen? Somebody will always outspend you. There will be that one guy who will be like, you know what? I'm going to pay more money. I'm going to take more publicity. In the same sector as you, what will you do?
You will not know if another competitor is also competing.
You will
for
not
this.
know. You will only know while things are happening. You're like, oh man. Somebody can always, and I always tell brands, somebody will make a better film than you.
Despite your own company producing the film, you tell to the brand that someone will make a better film than what you're
Somebody
creating.
can. That's what. Creativity is such a subjective thing. And by the way, you can put the best of the efforts, but the film still may not work for people. Think about it, right? Am I sure I will give you an 8.5 on 10? 100%. And that's our experience, right? Not every production house, not every agency can assure you that. But a 10 on 10 always, as I said, there's luck involved. There's how audience is perceiving. And then after that, your product has to be bloody good. I've met so many people whose products are half-baked. They're not there yet, but they push so much money in marketing.
Are there some examples? Are there any names you can take? Maybe not yours, but like you have seen like IPL campaigns gone bad. Let's take names now. Maybe not from you, just like in the past.
I can take names of not a brand, but let's say Virat Kohli. This was 2 years ago, and I saw Virat in back-to-back 5 commercials.
All during IPL.
All during IPL. 3 of those films I remember very vividly. Had him in this random house setup. Somebody had him like in that backstage cricket locker room side. Very basic, very boring. Virat comes, basic situation. Come, this is the product you need. This will change your life. Sign up now. Purchase now.
I know.
You don't remember. For me, all those 3 films are the same. Whereas one of those films, and I won't take the brand name, truly used him as a really interesting actor, had a great narrative, had a great story, and the product was also good. I remembered that. So I feel one of the biggest learnings in IPL is if you're using a celebrity, don't just use them for their star power. Please focus on narrative. Please focus on story. Please focus on actually making the ad film fun. Just that celebrity is not going to make your ad film memorable. Because remember, somebody will outspend you. Somebody will get a better celebrity. Somebody might even get the same celebrity. You have to make sure your story counts. So another mistake is brand managers thinking, yaar, ho gaya mera to celebrity sign. I'm not going to pay to an agency. Why should I pay an agency X amount of money to write a great script? Which happens so often. Like I was just having a discussion last week. An agency tried to negotiate our creative fee by 80%. Like, nahi, but idea to aapne kar diya tha na, ho gaya tha na. That's the problem. Like, please respect the writer. Please respect the creative idea, because they are the ones who are actually going to help you differentiate. Everything has to fall in place. Even one thing out of place, your campaign is down. Writing not in place, gone. Production not in place, gone. Right actor not in place, gone. Right actor used wrong, gone wrong. Your distribution gone wrong, khatam. You have to get everything right. I'm not saying go to the best in each category. You can have your priorities, but don't disregard a category. Or don't over depend on a category ki acha ab to Virat Kohli, ab to done.
But there was one instance of an ad which broke all the conventions that you just spoke about over here. Okay, and this happened during Super Bowl. I don't want to get any figures wrong, so I'm just going to read out from my phone. On February 2024, Kanye West, he took a very unconventional approach during Super Bowl. He released a 30-second commercial promoting his Yeezy fashion line. And the commercial went like this: "Hey, you all, this is Yee, and this is my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is," and he goes on and he just says, he's being honest, right? "I spent all my money on just on the distribution. We didn't get anything. And here is the ad. This is the product." And they allocated the entire $7 million of budget for this commercial slot. Okay. After the ad that went, they received sales of $19.3 million in sales. So by spending $7 million, $0 in producing the commercial, he got a close to a 3x return on his investment. Now talk to me, Ayush.
No, this is actually really amazing topic. I'll tell you, there are three things that you need to crack in a campaign. And the most important thing is that it needs to create conversation on the internet. What creates conversation on the internet is not production, it's the creative idea. Even in this, what was novel was the idea. And by the way, there are brands who have done this. He's not the first guy to do it. People have done this time and again that, oh, look, we spent all our money in this. In fact, Casey Neistat has a very popular video that, hey, Nike gave me a lot of money to promote the band. I spent all of it traveling. Here is a video of that.
Okay.
So really lovely concept, not just in Super Bowl, but also in content that people have used. And I think it's a brilliant one. This idea fundamentally works, right? But the only thing is not just conversation. As I said, there are three things. It's conversation, but it's also second is introducing your brand to the world. Kanye does not need brand introduction. Nike does not need brand introduction. But what if you are a brand that needs brand introduction? What if you're a brand that is revolutionizing the way pants are made? You will need to show proper visual. You can't say, hey, I have some new pants, buy.
Yes.
You have to visually properly show what we call RTBs in marketing, which is what is the reason to believe. Third thing, some films for some products require a proper visual aid. Otherwise, you cannot understand what the person is talking about. If I'm explaining something which maybe you have to see it in use case, a car commercial needs to be shot at least a certain way. I'm not saying you always have to make it fancy, but you have to show the car properly. How do I absorb the exterior, the interior? If it's a performance car, I need to show some shot of it like truly revving up. Let's take clothing as an example. You need to show something. Everyone knows how Yeezys look like, right? Again, great strategy. Crypto brand where they had the QR code in Super Bowl just circulating around. I think great idea. So when you're thinking about your campaign, you need to really make a framework. Does my product need to be properly visible for people to understand? If I'm selling beers, in fact, a beer company did this in Super Bowl where they got a celebrity, but they didn't have a production budget. So now the celebrity is in the trailer, in the that vanity van making a video. Very similar script. So novel idea, great idea, but you have to really think about your product. So beer brand can do it because beer brand में क्या ही है?
Correct.
एक point के बाद तो it's more or less the same thing, right?
Correct.
But if I'm doing, let's say, we just did an inverter battery brand, I can't do it with them. I need to properly show कि ये use case है. Audience बहुत massy है, right? Which means a Kanye West audience is premium. They can understand humor like this. What if my audience is super massy? They won't understand humor like this. So it's very nuanced. For example, for a brand right now, we're doing a campaign and they've told us, Kyar, just make sure India is talking about it. Whereas if I'm creating an ad for this brand called Waterfield, which we did, which is a UHNI wealth management, they're a wealth advisory company. I can't do an ad where, oh, just make people talk about it. No. In fact, don't make anyone talk about it. Only make sure the top 1,000 people hear it. And in the best way possible. And when they hear it, they should really feel that, oh, wow, this is a company I want to be associated with. That ad was aired in Emirates first class, business class, the in-flight entertainment. There's so much nuance to marketing that it can't be, can I do a phone shot video or can I do a, no. Look at your product, look at your customer. Then decide.
I love how you have categorized it all into three buckets, right? And say that, and especially the first bucket, which was, can this thing drive conversations? When Kanye West released this ad, all over the internet, meme accounts were like, you won't believe what Kanye just did. Meme accounts were picking up, people are sharing, news reports are sharing. So in addition to him, airing it in front of a Super Bowl and the Super Bowl audience receiving it, people all around the world are also seeing
Talking
the
about
content, right? So that got extra impressions and hence it did very well. I think that's very, very important. So now that we move on to the segment of IPL brands and ads done well, let's dive into brands probably which hit these three categories which you're talking about, probably starting off with conversations. Can you name any brands either done by Owl or done by other agencies over here which absolutely killed it in the market?
If you look at a ad that has to create conversations, right, there are a couple of things which you have to get right. If I look at an IPL ad, and if your IPL commercial campaign has to make noise, especially in a way that people are talking about it, दो तीन nuance आपको pick करने हैं. First nuance that you have to pick is that it has to be culturally very relevant. I can have the best script, but I will not talk about it if it's culturally not relevant, which means the writing team has to really see what's working right now. If I use Gen Z and work-life balance in the same line, that's a hook. Suddenly people are like, who said what? I want to hear. If you want to get viral on the internet today, just go on and say on camera, you need to work 100 hours a week. You know?
Yeah.
Has anybody said 150 hours? Okay, let's say 150 hours. You'll have news articles.
And especially someone like really popular, someone very well known saying that, yeah,
When I meet somebody popular, they're like, oh, I want to be very relevant. I'm like, oh, it's very easy to be relevant.
just say the most craziest thing.
This is what you need to say. Here are 10 topics which people are talking about on the internet. Just pick one of those and you're good to go. So today, I feel virality can be codified. I feel virality to a certain extent can be manufactured and engineered. So number one is this. You have to be culturally, that cultural nuance or that cultural inspiration that you're picking up, your writing team needs to understand what's happening. And you must have met people, right? One person does not understand, one does understand. Yeah, this is what's happening. I need to talk about this one particular thing. So this is number one. Number two is when you're engineering a campaign to create conversations, you have to, today people don't like, nobody likes ads, by the way. We see an ad, you're like, how funny. Oh, this is a Dream 11 ad. Everyone said, oh, nice. We don't like ads. Nobody wants to see an ad. Ad is an interruption.
Of course, to the actual experience.
My TV show could have been 30 minutes long. They could have shown me more. Or in the 21 minutes of that show, I could have spent just 21 minutes and tata bye-bye. My time would have been saved. I could have seen an extra episode in that 1 hour that I binged. But no, I had to look at ads. Nobody likes ads, which means the second thing which you can use to make sure people talk about it beyond your ad is make a campaign which looks and feel extremely organic. We call this user-led marketing, and this is a very fairly popular term within Owl, right? And not just Owl, like within the industry, which is user-led marketing. Let's say the user did something on the internet. Have you seen the Britannia croissant example? Somebody made a video, Britannia का वो croissant था, मुझे भी pronunciation नहीं आती एक तो इसकी, but वो देखा Britannia Prashant. He just said Prashant after looking at croissant.
Okay.
And they made
Instead
a
of
meme.
saying croissant, he said Prashant.
Correct. So Britannia jumped in and they said, we'll make a meme on it. Now imagine if I had to reconfigure this entire thing. I know this can happen. Why not I hire an actor, make it look super organic, make him say this as a mistake on my product and then talk about it. So there are so many interesting things which I feel you can manufacture on the internet to make your campaign seem really, really viral and relevant. And we also do this at Owl very, very often. And the last thing is the way you distribute that journey has to be very, very interesting. Today, a lot of brands still go to traditional celebrities, whereas a celebrity's face might be more known to a larger audience in India, but what people truly consume are content creators. Your campaign journey needs to go through content creators and you need to give them space for once. Let them create. Please don't wear a blue jacket where it has to be against a white background. You have to say 20 things about the brand. Please don't do that.
That ruins the actual ad.
Yeah.
Let the creator or the be themselves, right?
I've seen literally every week a brand rejects a video. He was supposed to wear blue. Why did he not wear blue? Your brand is not going to be built whether you're wearing blue or red or green. Your brand is going to be built if you give them some value. Give value to customers. Teach them something good. Don't overthink things that don't matter.
Correct.
Especially not in the digital ecosystem. So these few things you need to capture if you really want people to talk about your campaign.
Now I want to go a bit into my personal company's journey. So we are a podcast production company.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason that I have been following your journey a lot is because for me, bro, this is like a therapy session, right? Like what you're sharing to me, hopefully one day we are able to produce ads in the Middle East of this particular caliber for things. So literally what you have told me is notes. Like when we do work with such
Kind of you.
No, what when we do work with such kind of creatives, we will implement that. I want to get into huge scale production like this, right? How do I pivot, Ayush? Right now, I'm a podcast production company, and we have done a little bit on media. Like we have shot a music video, we have covered a paddle tournament, but we want to get more into documentaries. We want to do commercial ads. What's your advice to me as an entrepreneur, from a brother to another brother? How do we take that journey? Because you have been through it yourself.
Firstly, it's amazing to see what you've built. It's truly incredible that you've been able to build a business in the UAE and it's doing really well. So, congratulations. I
Thank you
think
so
you're doing
much.
amazingly well. And I think podcast is a great space. I also feel that riches are in the niches. You don't shop fashion anymore on an Amazon. It's not a comfortable experience. You go to a Myntra. Same with Nykaa and cosmetics and so on and so forth. So not just in production, even other businesses, verticalization happens. And I think it's the time in the agency ecosystem where more verticalization will happen, where people would want to go to specific people. Earlier, agencies would have this thing called an AOR, which is agency on record, which is yehi agency, the same agency will do everything for me, or in fact, most things for me. That's changing now.
No longer it's just full service agencies.
No
You have
longer just full service agency. It's now, you know what, this agency does this thing really well. Go to them. Of course, you can sell 2-3 services. I think that's still possible. But having that same 25-30 services
becomes too much.
I personally don't think
Correct.
that is the future.
Correct.
I'm sure there will be somebody who will prove me wrong, but I don't think one should build like this. So I think firstly, it's amazing that you've picked up one niche and you've gone in depth. I think there's a lot of money to be made there. So before you hop to something else, people think that, oh, I don't think I can scale it further. We are more often than not wrong. There is a lot to be done within that. Because if you've done, let's say if you're doing 20 podcasts a month, can I assume 15-20 podcast episodes a month you shoot?
Yeah, easily.
Right? Even a 30% up in your cost, which I think is doable in my opinion, will get you is direct addition to your bottom line, because now you're more credible. So what people don't think is that you can easily make a lot more money by tweaking a few things. Like I was just thinking, our margins took a major hit at Owl the last 7-8 months because we invested a lot back in the company. And I was just thinking, you know what, to actually make more money as a company, I don't need more clients. I just need to make sure I continue to deliver awesome work to these clients and just tell them, hey, we're investing back in the company. You're getting better people. You're getting more resources. You're getting a better product. Please pay for it. And I'm sure if not all, a lot of them will be ready to pay for it if I'm doing the right thing. So I feel the first step, if I were you, would not be to jump to another service. Is to just make sure I am in some shape or form, monopoly is a big word, but in some shape or form, in that my little bubble, have monopolized my thing. कि यार यूएई में पॉडकास्ट आता है, एक बार मुझे मिले ना मिले, बट मेरा जिक्र तो होता है इस रूम में. People talk about me in that room when a podcast is being discussed. So that's what I would do. In terms of expansion, I would not do production. Controversial statement is, I don't think production is going to be very relevant in the next coming years. I feel cost of production will come down even further and will come to a point where post-production will still be very relevant. Like the person stitching somebody's ideas and some footage will still be very relevant. Of course, that process will also become faster. That process will also become cheaper. But I do think VFX, CG, how to use AI effectively in post-production, that will be really, really helpful. Similarly, in production, I feel storytelling, strategy, client servicing, writing, these things will always have value because this require human intervention, right? ChatGPT can still write the script for you. But for you to tell the client that this is the right one for you, this is how you should integrate, usme na abhi bhi time hai.
Got it.
So I personally would not invest in production. I would rather invest more in post. I would rather invest more in pre, but not in production. That said, it's still very much relevant. There's still a lot of money to be made. So if you ask me short term karna chahiye, sure. Should you think of it as the absolute long term solution? My personal and humble opinion is no.
In the long term, it's going to go down and down, is what you're saying.
Significantly, because I'm even without AI is a very, very widely used term now. Everybody's using AI as a word. We do AI services as well. So I can tell you for a fact that it will come down significantly.
And I'll tell you why I ask you this, right? So, last year, like we as a company, and I'm very public about this, I want to show my journey as a founder of building in public, right? We clocked in about 3 crores in revenue. When I see founders over there, and I have this goal of reaching close to 8 to 10 crores, basically $1 million. I want to reach $1 million is 8.5 crores in this particular year. I see large productions have a larger premium which clients are paying. Like even as a podcast, there's a certain limit I can charge.
Correct.
If I go charging 1 crore for a podcast, it'd be like, what's wrong with you? Unless I'm doing it something like a Kapil Sharma show where there's a live audience which is brought in, with judges are there. So even I am trying to figure out what is that way I can reach my company's target with probably the same service. I don't mind offering the same service. How can I increase the value for it? Like that's the question over here.
The very foundational reason a brand will not pay for a podcast, even though it might get them more reach, is because it's a mindset, right? I'm doing 4 podcasts a month. I can afford mistakes. It's the same thing which we discussed in the start of the podcast, which is if I'm doing an ad film 1 or 2 times a year, I cannot afford a mistake. I'm not paying for the product. I'm paying for a lot more things than just the product.
Got it.
Like I know like younger producers come to me, and I have also done the same thing, which I would go to a senior producer and say, why did you spend 50 lakhs on this? I can do it in 5. And I would say it with a lot of arrogance. And I know people come and tell me, hey, these guys are wasting money, and they can do it in much cheaper. That's because they don't understand the ecosystem around that ad. That's because they don't understand how important this one thing is. Like when we are super thirsty, would be ready to pay 500 rupees for a bottle of water. But when in a restaurant, we're like, please bring regular water. I'm not going to pay further.
Correct.
The minute you change context, pricing changes. If I were you, I would not go to ad production. I think the way to scale, which we have also understood the hard way, let's say you're creating podcast production, I would find similar things because the client would trust you better.
A pivot we were thinking was documentaries, because anyways, like documentaries is talking style content only.
Yeah, that's an amazing one. So documentary would be one, but imagine the same setup or similar setup, same type of thinking. Where is it involved more? And try to capture that audience, because then you're not starting from zero. The most beautiful part about building a team is that if you're starting from zero always, then it's super hard to sort of scale a team, right? But once you've built something, you can take decisions more strategically. You're not operating anymore from a place of scarcity, but from a place of abundance. So my advice is, firstly, I would go complementary services or services which revolve around a podcast. Can I make my own podcast? Can I build my own distribution? Can I manage podcast creators and their brand deals? Can I, I would actually think in that direction first before going to ad production. Once I've exhausted this, or once I've figured that, okay, this is not possible, or I don't want to do this, that's when I would go to ad and I would build this team top down. So like, okay, I make certain money. Let me not make more money for the next 2 months. Let me cap out what I'm taking back home. I'm going to cut back on my expenses, but let me hire a really good guy and take a bet. The guy may not work out, the girl may not work out, but that's what you do, right? So many people don't understand the risk reward equation.
Absolutely.
I've seen so many people who do jobs complain about this. No, but I did X effort, company's making so much money. Why do? Because you didn't take the risk. Because it's not because you're not hardworking. You are very well intentioned, you're very hardworking. It's because you didn't take the risk and the other person did. The other person was okay not making anything. You are not. You are not okay taking back zero in that particular month. So that's how I would personally do it.
When you're working with creative teams, they always expect bigger and bigger projects. For example, I've shot a 3-person podcast. Now we are going bigger. We are doing 4-person podcast. I used to film with 3 cameras before. Now we are filming with 5 cameras. Yeah. Eventually, the idea is also to film with 10 cameras more. So, like this is what excites even me and the team to do like bigger, better things. And we invest a lot. How do I keep the team also motivated?
I feel everyone is sort of gets a kick from very different things to incentivize the person accordingly. There are people who get super excited when the scale of the project is big. Then there are people who don't get excited by scale at all, but they get excited by the core idea. Because scale of the projects तो बहुत बेकार films भी बनती हैं. There has been the Adi Purush of the Bollywoods as well, which have done really badly. Fairly big scale, burnt so much money. Some people get excited by scale. However, discipline is everything. It's one of our core values. Discipline over everything. So if you're an owl, you have to do a mix. You will get what drives you. You will get what gets you excited. But you also have to do this. Because otherwise, one for the kitchen, one for the soul, we follow very, very regularly in silos.
Yeah.
Your team has to do this thing also, which I know might not be very exciting. but it drives the company, and that's how I'm able to pay you salaries. That exciting project that you did, guess
Correct.
what? It doesn't make any money. In Owl, we're doing a documentary, we're doing IPL ads, we're doing TV commercials, we're doing a lot of podcasts as well. We do in India, we're doing YouTube channel management, we're doing personal brands, we're doing influencer marketing, we do augmented reality campaigns, we do tech campaigns. There's a bunch of things now. There are a good 100 people now churning out so much content, so many ideas. So within this, I know who gets excited about what type of campaign. So I keep shuffling and juggling around basis, of course, their skill sets and expertise as well. So yeah, it's a difficult and it takes a lot of your time and effort, but you ensure that your team is happy.
I mean, like, I would love to just have another episode with you where we're just discussing about how you manage creative people. Because when creative people comes in, it's very different. Like, that's
Very
a whole
different.
separate conversation. You mentioned you shoot podcasts for brands, right? I know that you have produced, I think, quite a lot of episodes for Nikhil Kamath. That has inspired us a lot. Your work has inspired us a lot, and we have also started creating four-person conversations, right? Four-person shot with 5 cameras in the UAE. We have it for some of our clients. So thank you for being you, man. Thank you for doing this podcast. It really means a lot that you taking time out and being here. I would like to end this conversation with you sharing something about yourself that we probably couldn't cover in this particular episode because we are running short of time. Anything about you that we didn't cover? Anything that's upcoming for the audience who's watching?
I think a lot is upcoming. I wish I was more regular with my content.
Yeah.
But I've taken about 3 years to write a book with Yashraj. It's very nice of you to say that in some capacity, Owl has been an inspiration. I don't think I have been an inspiration to anyone. I think Owl has been an inspiration to people. And we're a small company still. We're genuinely a very small company in the larger scheme of things. And we wish to truly do big things in life. But some of the things that we've done in the last 2 years, which I'm really excited about, is the book's coming out. It's for freelancers. It's called the One Person Startup. I don't know if I've revealed the name before, but I'm really excited because I feel the future is a lot of the people would want to freelance, would want to have their own thing. So it's about gig economy. How do you build a one person startup? How do people, freelancers are not respected in the country, and I don't like it. I started my career as a freelancer, and loan नहीं मिलता freelancer को. कोई बाप लड़के नहीं दे रहा freelancers को. मतलब what is happening? So can we get them the respect that they deserve? We also run a freelance cohort which we are relaunching in a very big way. I'm doing it with somebody now instead of doing it alone. We did it for about a couple of hundred students last year. Got a lot of learnings. We have now beefed up the modules, added a lot more. So I'm super excited about that. I'm excited about scaling Owl. We're doing a lot more organic content. We would do advertising a lot, but now we are engaging with people to also build their own organic distribution. So brands are now coming to us, building their YouTube channels. Founders are now coming to us, building their own organic followers and organic viewership. And we have done this like time and again, right? We worked with the Nikhil Kamath podcast and so many other people. So we have now very, very successful case studies that we have done it for the best of the best, and we've done it like time and again. So it's now a formula. So that part I'm genuinely excited about. Yeah, I think there's a lot happening. I just want to make sure that I stay close to people. So I love speaking with other agency owners. Like, one of the reasons I got so excited when I was looking at your profile, I saw that you run an agency. I love speaking with any new agency founders, new freelancers. I think that drives me a lot because I felt I did not get transparent help early on. Eventually I did, but as a freelancer I never got. So I feel wherever I can give that, it gives me a lot of joy and just satisfaction. So yeah, these are a few things that are happening in life right now.
Thank you for summarizing that and looking forward to your book. I'm 100% sure we're going to be meeting again in Bangalore, in Dubai, you name it. I'm sure there's going to be another podcast that's going to be scheduled. But for the shortage of time, we have to end this episode. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me, and you're an amazing host.
Oh, thank
And
you,
all
man.
the best with your journey.